lost art of backtrolling. We live in an era right now where we are covered up with guys out on the river fishing with bobbers and beads, fishing jigs and pink worms, and nobody's out there backtrolling plugs and diver and bait anymore. On today's episode, we're gonna focus in on the techniques on how to be successful backtrolling plugs and diver and bait. Jared, we're pulling up in the first spot right here, and what I'm looking at is it looks like you have basically two different currents coming together, and anytime I'm looking for plug water, I like that ripple. Yep. That nice chopped up water, it refracts the light, makes the fish feel a little bit more comfortable, and it condenses them, and that's what we're trying to do out here. We're always trying to eliminate water and figure out exactly where they're gonna be, and this low clear water helps immensely. So when you look at this hole, since this is your river, what are you looking for?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna row up well above. I drop my plugs in well above where I think the first fish might be, and push them down. I try to stay out of the sight picture of the fish,
right?
And then I push into the fish. So it's nice and subtle, and it starts pushing those fish back. We have that wall, and the wall runs all the way down the edge here, and gravel on the left. So I'm gonna run my 3.5, a little deeper running, a little faster current on my right side. And in this case, I'm going to run my bright pink, my really aggressive plug on the right side to push them off the wall. The wall is their security there, so they're gonna try to tuck into cracks and little spots in that wall, but I want a big aggressive plug to push them out of that and not even give them the option. We're gonna run the 3.0 on the left because it's a little shallower, and I'm hoping they're gonna come around the big plug, see the little guy, crush the little guy.
And you were talking, you like this bright pink and maybe something even a little bit more aggressive.
Yep.
With that chartreuse and blue butt.
Yep.
Cloud cover, I like gold, so I can go with this gold with the black bill and black back. So the reason why we're gonna go to divers here right now on this spot is typically when you're running a plug, you definitely wanna have a little bit faster water, more broken water. This little stretch right here is what we call laminar flow. It's really flat, but they're not gonna be too aggressive. So you come into them a little bit more subtle. So we're gonna run divers in coon shrimp, sand shrimp, and then I even have a setup right now with the rig that I call my wacky rig. So instead of running a typical bait diver, I'm actually gonna run a plug, a MagLip, as my diver on a very short dropper that I've wrapped up with fish nip. And then behind that, I'll run my coon shrimp. And you can see it has just single hook there. That way we can still run 3 hooks.
And
so
with these lighter rods, you're gonna be able to see that fish pick it up, and then you're gonna be up and going for it by the time the rod kind of goes.
Amy cooner, a couple cooners.
So then we're golden.
So plug rod, right side. Okay. There's the wacky rig. And how far?
You're going 35 feet.
Kill me with that.
35 feet, man. Don't mess with my program.
I know, I'm not gonna mess with your program that much. It killed me because I'm in gin clear water and I want to kick him back there 60, 70 feet because that's the way I fish in clear water, but it's not my river, not my boat. It's bad enough I brought my own gear. We just put out the wacky rig setup. Now we're gonna get our other one rolling here. This is just your basic standard diver. That's all black and nice, calm, subtle presentation going back there. You're not gonna spook the fish too much with this. A longer leader, just because we are in clear water, about 6 foot. Down to a tiny little spin glow, again, purple and pink, not too intrusive. And then our coon shrimp. This time of year, we're keeping a really close eye on these light rods. The second we see a tap, we're picking it up and setting the hook. So we might miss fish by doing that, but we do not want to hook them deep. So I just ask that if you are going to be running diver and bait anytime in your local rivers, make sure that it's either early in the season, or if you are going to do it later in the season, run bigger hooks, lock your drag down, and the second you see a tap, pick it up and try and get on that fish. We don't want to injure any wild fish.
Nice gold fish, too.
There you go. Cheers, buddy. That's your rod. Of course it's his rod. It's in the middle. Come off?
Yep.
Well, that's all right. That is exactly what we just talked about. We didn't let that fish take it too much. As soon as it started biting, got on him real quick. We got a splash. That's all that matters. Yeah, that was chrome fish. Of course it was your rod. Oh, there we go. Oh. We had a double.
Dude, that was so close to a double.
Dang it, that was on the wacky rig right there.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was fun. And that's the problem with running plugs in slow water. They just don't eat it hard.
Yeah.
And you just don't get the bite very well. The biggest ones, huh?
Well, that one in there is pretty dang big.
That's the guy I like, that size right there.
So on this setup, I like to run a chartreuse spin and glow or anything in front of my shrimp. Gives a lot of contrast. So what I did is I took a spin and glow, tore the wings off, and it actually cuts through the water really well, being that it's reversed. I don't want any spin. All right, so that's gonna cut through the water just like that. See, now on that bait, you see how long that whisker is? I don't want them to nip me off, so I'm gonna pop that off right there at my trailer hook. Just like that. That way my trailer hook's right there on the end.
Plug fishing, you need to have a system. What I mean by having a system is that you need the exact same rod, reel, line, terminal tackle, all the way down to your plug for everything to work properly. That's just not one rod, that's every rod in your boat. So let's start off first with the rod. What I like to have most of the time when I'm pulling plugs, I'm in a drift boat or in a small power boat, usually right around an 8-foot long rod is perfect, it's ideal. You go 8.5, it's a little long, 7.6, you're not getting enough action out of the rod to work the plug. Now, what you're looking for in a fishing rod is something with a really nice light tip, so that way it's not pulling on the plug, it's allowing the plug to work. But then it has plenty of backbone to turn that fish once he's hooked up. For our line, this is 40-pound maximum braid 8. And we can get away with that 40-pound for 2 reasons. One, that braid 8 is very thin, and the fish are coming up from behind the lure, so they don't necessarily see the line, so we're not too concerned about it even being high vis. And a reel, line counter reels. I cannot stress that enough. You need to have precision when you have your lines back there. Everything needs to be perfectly set behind the boat, so that way you're forcing those fish into those pinch points. Moving down to our terminal tackle, 40-pound maximum braid 8. And I have that down to a small tornado chain swivel from Fishfield. And then just a little rubber bumper up on top, so that way you aren't reeling the chain swivel up into your eyelet. Down here, I have 12-pound maximum ultra green. Now, some guys will run fluorocarbon, but I actually prefer monofilament because it's a little bit more limp, a little bit more soft. And I want this plug to have as much action in it as possible. And if you also notice right here, I have 2 dual locks down to my plug. Now, the reason why is because it just gives it, again, more freedom of movement. We want that plug working independent. We don't want it getting pulled by the line or by the rod. So adding 2 dual locks will help it move a little bit more freely. We want it to hunt. Now down here to your plug, you can run 3.0 MagLips, 3.5s, fat wigglers. There's a lot of different plug options out there, whatever you have the most confidence in. And then on the bottom down here, you can add a little bit of scent, and if you do, put it right there in the belly in between the 2 hooks. Now the stock hooks that come on these are great. They all work just fine, but after a fish or 2, they tend to bend out. So what I've done here is I've actually put on 2 different Fishfield hooks of different sizes. These are the titanium ones, and the reason why I like these, they're just super sharp right out of the package. I know if a fish even looks at it funny, we're gonna get them stuck.
There's a lot of fish will stop, different temperature of water. Plus, if there's anything waiting to go up that creek, any fish coming by are gonna stop and wait with them, whether they're going up the creek or not. So we're gonna dump them in there and see if we can push them out of that creek mouth. Got him.
Oh, he's running hard. Oh, he's coming at me.
Plug takedown, plugging.
Dr. Death, baby, Dr. Death. See, backtrolling can be fun and exciting.
Yes, it can. That thing buried.
There, he ate that.
I'm chewing on it. I'm chewing on it. I'm chewing on it.
Oh, man.
Ooh, nice little bone.
A little bit color. Just hanging. Just hanging. So I'll go upstream of you here. Ready, go. Very nice. Sweet. Yeah, bud. So that fish ate Dr. Death, and it was perfectly right where Jared said it was going to be, right there at the mouth of that creek. And Jared, that was out 37. You know you did. Sneak on in there, and I'll hold his tail, and you can pop that hook out. Perfect. I love bucks this time of year, man. They fight so hard.
Yeah, he got a bunch of nice jumps out of that guy.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, just getting that blush just a little bit after a week. He's getting a little green. You ready?
Yeah, just kind of let him start sliding. Whenever you're ready, yeah.
He's ready.
Go ahead.
That was perfect.
Dude.
He went away not too
Dude, you
fast.
still see that little gray ghost just swimming.
Yeah, nice.
Dr. Death.
Yeah.
I told you I wasn't going to screw around anymore putting on my killers.
It's got a lot of
Dr. Death.
there's a lot of paint teeth marks on it.
Dude, I love all the different plug colors out there, and there's so many really cool ones, but Winter Steelhead Dr. Death just slays. It just works. Put it on again. Started turning the boat too, so Ron just...
Yeah, I pulled it into him. So a lot of times, yeah, you'll pull, when you get that big takedown, he's just chewing on it. You can swing the boat into the rod, really bring it really tight, make sure it doesn't come off. So that worked out good.